The Hilltop Glove Podcast is sponsored by Mid-Carolina Service Company.
Mid-Carolina Service Company is the first name to search for your residential or commercial HVAC needs in Lexington and surrounding areas.
Just go holler at Jason and Clint. They'll hook you up on the air conditioners, on the restaurant equipment, refrigerators, refrigeration, ice machine repair. They've been doing this for years. I know them cats forever.
Family owned and operated since 2006, they pride themselves in their quality work and customer relationships. Call 803-356-4153 or visit midcarolinaserviceco.com for a no obligation quote for service today.
The Hilltop Glove Podcast is sponsored by True Brilliance Entertainment.
True Brilliance is a production, promotions, and management company dedicated to connecting artists and producers across the Carolinas to music industry professionals.
Several of their clients have placements both domestic and internationally as a result of their services.
Are you an artist or producer looking to build meaningful relationships within the music industry? Then True Brilliance is for you. Check them out at paramilitary.com. That's spelled P-A-I-R-A military.com.
This episode of the Hilltop Glove Podcast is sponsored by Bob's. Bob's is a Columbia-based retailer of over 100 Black-owned products from 20 Black-owned businesses. Bob's offers a wide range of items from household cleaning, cosmetics, and everything in between. With every visit to Bob's, you support Black-owned businesses, giving them the opportunity to grow and establish connections with our community. Bob's is located inside the Noma warehouse at 2222 Sumter Street in Columbia, South Carolina. Visit their website, weshopbobs.com, for in-store pickup or to find out more. Bob's can also be found via social media on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at weshopbobs. When you stop by, tell them the Hilltop Glove sent you. Bob's brings quality Black brands to the Columbia community. The Hilltop Glove Podcast is sponsored by Red Rooster Sports Bar and Grill. Red Rooster is your neighborhood bar and grill serving the best wings, burgers, and baskets in the Met.
Like the amazing food, the bar is always on tap, and there's plenty of screens to watch the big game. Red Rooster is the Midland's premier meetup spot for local car and bike clubs, fraternities, and sororities.
Staff is dedicated to accommodating all kinds of parties and events. If you're looking to catch a game, have a bite, and a drink, look no further than the Red Rooster.
Red Rooster is located at 7500 Wilson Boulevard, Columbia, South Carolina. For more information, visit redroostersportsbar.com or visit them on Facebook and Instagram at Red Rooster Sports Bar. Go where the winners go.
Welcome to the Hilltop Glove Podcast.
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 Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Hilltop Glove Podcast. Today we have the pleasure of interviewing Miss Chantelle Broughton. Chantelle is an entrepreneur and a native of North Charleston, South Carolina. She is currently pursuing her doctorate with the University of Kentucky. As a licensed master social worker in the state of South Carolina, she attended both Columbia College and the University of South Carolina. Chantelle focuses her work in the community economic development space with a high interest in building entrepreneurial ecosystems, especially for minorities. She loves to research and teach others about wealth building strategies, as well as investing in entrepreneurs to creatively access capital and grow their operations. She is the founder of Kinfolk Coaching, a 501c3 nonprofit educating and advocating for financial wellness and wealth attainment for low-income communities, as well as offering direct services relating to financial literacy, business development programs, and financial wellness task force. Chantelle is also the co-owner, along with her father, of Tanny's Broughton all-purpose seasoning. She is currently working to launch a wellness and self-care brand for those experiencing personal and professional burnout. Thank you for joining us today. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you for the introduction.
Okay, so just to give our audience a little bit more about you, can you tell us what was it like growing up as the only girl, and who or what influenced you to become who you are today?
Okay. So growing up as an only girl was pretty interesting. For those who don't know, I'm only the youngest daughter as well as the youngest grandchild. So it allowed me an opportunity to learn from everybody else's dumb mistakes. So I feel like it paved the way for me to make a lot more smarter decisions. No tea, no shade,
Right.
but ain't nobody coming to see our oldest. You know what I'm saying? As far as my influences, they would probably be my parents. My mom has always been a strong woman. She didn't really back down or take no for an answer. And I feel like I got that from her because I'm the same way in my own life. My dad just kind of taught me to live by a moral code, just to treat people the way you want to be treated. And I feel like that has gotten me to where I am so far in life.
Yeah, being the only girl rocks.
It does.
You get spoiled.
Still.
And then you also get, like you said, learn from their mistakes.
Right.
They really do be messing up. The brothers.
Yes, they do.
They really do.
You be messing up.
Yeah, no, the brothers be messing up.
brothers
Yeah, I
mess
learned from all my brothers' mistakes.
Lord Jesus. Wait,
Both of them.
how many brothers do you have?
I have 3 older brothers.
Good gosh.
Yes.
Did they let you have a dating life?
So I didn't play that. And I wasn't that type of little sister.
Oh, she was a good little sister.
Yeah, I'm going to do what I want to do. Y'all doing what y'all want to do.
Oh, so you
I don't
said...
cop out for y'all. So don't
You
come
said,
here.
set boundaries.
Yes, you said boundaries. You didn't
This
let
is
them
my
run over you.
sphere.
Good,
Y'all
good,
stay-
good.
You know
Okay.
what? People never mess with you because you just got that, I don't play
'Cause I don't.
games.
I don't.
Ever since I've known her,
She's
about her
she's
business.
always been about her
Yeah.
business. Yeah.
I try.
I like that.
Thank
I'm a
you.
responsible
Thank you.
friend. So talk a little bit about your nonprofit, Kinfolk Coaching. You know, many entrepreneurs fail to teach people their knowledge as they grow and because the fear they want people, they don't surpass them.
Right.
So, why is it important for you to teach individuals and to share your knowledge? Why is that an important factor for you?
So I started Kinfolk Coaching because I was working with the Department of Mental Health, working with kids who had all kind of mental health diagnoses. And I was super pissed off at how we were overdiagnosing and over-medicating children, especially Black and brown children. And so I wanted to do a mental health nonprofit, but I found that same kind of mentality blocked me from growing and learning what I needed to do. So I kind of switched gears and went to financial literacy. And I strongly believe without your finances in place, you really can't do anything. You can't afford medications. You can't afford transportation. You can't afford any of these other areas of wellness until your finances are in check. So I've been fortunate in this realm to have a really good guide. My family is really good with their finances. They taught me a lot, which I try to share with other people. It's all about budgeting, saving, paying yourself, doing those small things that make a huge impact in the long term.
I agree. See, I told y'all that's my responsible friend.
I try.
So I like that you talk about financial literacy because some people don't get that as they grow up in the Black community. Some parents kind of skip over that important factor. So where do you see a lot of kids failing in financial literacy? No matter the age, they could be middle school all the way into a college graduate.
I think they're just not taught financial priorities.
Mm-hmm.
Especially in our community, we think that looking rich is more important than actually being rich. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we can fake it till we make it all day long, but if you got $1,000 purse with no money in it, what's really the point?
Mm-hmm.
Who you stunting for?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that we have to do a better job of educating our children, initially up front and teaching them these basic financial fundamentals when they're kindergarten, elementary age, so that when they become adulthood, they don't have to learn from huge financial mistakes.
And by that, you mean saving and
yes.
A lot. It's when I was a kid and I was taught to save and stuff, I was always saving for something.
Right,
it was still
right.
a consumption item. It wasn't the idea that you save and it just never
You don't
gets
use
touched,
it. Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And so, and this is something that me and my wife have talked a lot about, trying to teach better habits in the future and such. And at any time, if the bottom could drop out, then any money that you have saved up is not actually an asset because it could disappear the next week, right?
Right.
So there's almost this mentality that if you convert that into a tangible good, if I go ahead and buy them Jordans this week, then I will have them. And it doesn't matter if the bottom drops out, I will have this thing.
Yeah.
And that, that's a weird mindset to realize is happening as part of this consumerist culture.
It's a scarcity mindset.
Right. Is that, it's part of that too. Yeah. But that's, it's those are things that we got to talk about before we can actually fix though,
Yep. We don't like having those conversations.
We don't like being honest with ourselves.
We like, okay, cool.
Yes.
So how do you break it to people, like especially grown adults? Like, you know,
Lord, yes.
sometimes they're like hard to get a breakthrough. How do you get through to them to talk about financial literacy?
I mean, I try to make it as personable as possible. Like I will walk somebody through their paycheck, their financial responsibilities, all their bills, and just paint the picture as clearly as possible for them, because speaking broadly and generally is not going to impact them as far as me putting their situation in front of their face and asking them, okay, what you about to do? Because I ain't going to do the work for you. Like, what you about to do? I'm going to teach you, I'll help you, but ultimately you got to do the work. And if you ain't, on to the next. It is what it is. Can't save everybody.
So you start with a budget.
Yes.
And I would assume a lot of people do not even know how to do that.
They don't.
Yeah.
They don't, especially in the world of automation,
right?
Where we have auto pays. We don't do that anymore.
I saw this lady pull out a checkbook the other day. I was like,
still use mine.
At the post office, I was like, oh, wow.
I still write my checks out every month.
Yeah, what they're taking.
Absolutely.
I mean, I do it in my like planner or calendar so I can figure out my monthly income and stuff like that. But like
day to day,
never a checkbook. I never was that type of person. Like
we pay for convenience, and we have to realize the trade-off that we have lost in the world of convenience. It is so easy for that amount, that bill to just come straight out of our bank accounts, but what's the real trade-off? Now we don't physically see that money.
Right.
So we're physically attached from our finances nowadays versus in previous generations.
You have to be actively involved.
Actively involved, yeah.
Yeah, people don't talk about that.
No, they don't.
When he was actually getting dollars out of the mattress.
Right.
Yeah, you had to go and do it. You didn't want to give it up. So you were like, okay, I got to save this as much as I can. I want to have my mattress backed up with my money. I did see on your website, and just talking about making a budget, and I thought this was the coolest thing ever, because it's something that my wife always talks to me about, but just in financial stability, having the ability to have, starting off with $1,000 in emergency savings.
Yes, right? That's your starting point.
Could you explain to our audience the importance of that, just as one of the financial tools that you'll need on that path to success?
The 1,000 emergency savings is just like, if you don't have that, I'm really going to judge you, because it's so necessary. Anything can happen.
Mm-hmm. Your transmission goes out, you can't get to work.
The kids get sick, you know, your insurance is funky as hell nowadays. I don't know if I can curse, but insurance is funky as hell nowadays, and like it's not giving what it's supposed to give. So you might have medicine that you have to pay for. You have to pay for anything. Certain necessities should not fall or rely on credit. Like that's just not the mindset that we need to have. Like credit should be an absolute emergency, because that's a loan.
We'll talk about
you
that
live
more.
your day-to-day on loan.
Talk about that
the
more.
loans aren't great.
A lot of people say, like, all right, if you don't have a credit, they judge you if you don't have a credit card.
They do, but you have to do it smart. It's a smart way to do everything. So we all got to pay bills.
Yeah.
Pay the bills, which is money that you already have anyway, with your credit card. That's an easy way to pay off your credit card debt every month. So if you have your light bill, your water bill, your phone bill, all that equals to $300. Put that on your credit card. That same money that you would have paid for that, you pay off that credit card every month in full, and that's how you build your credit up. Your credit card should not be used for Beyonce tickets.
Ouch.
And y'all knew she was coming during tax season. Y'all knew she was coming because she do it all the time.
Oh my Lord.
To each his own.
No, she's right. She does that every time.
She does that every tax season. Y'all better get hip. Y'all better get hip. But I mean, you know, you just have to plan to prosper, because if you fail to plan, you're planning to fail, and that's how it goes.
So what's another tip that you can give people about budgeting or finances that you feel like they are lacking, the average person is lacking?
I live off the 50-30-20 rule. So 50% of my income goes towards like my needs, so my bills, my mortgage, car insurance needs. 30% goes towards my wants, because I do feel like it cannot always be about the dedication and limiting yourself to the things that you want to do to have fun and stuff like that. Like you have to budget for those things too. And then 20% goes into your saving. And I think people also have to understand that sometimes you just don't make enough money. It is what it is. You can work 100 hours overtime a week, and sometimes you just need to add in a second income. You just need to get some more money somewhere, get a side hustle, a small business, something. Because all the time it's not just about budgeting, it's also about the income that you're bringing in as well.
But one thing that I've found is, like, once you actually are looking at a budget on paper then you can start being like, okay, I spend too damn much money on Netflix and Amazon and all of that crap. Yeah. And so then you start cutting stuff. Boop, boop, boop.
Chick-fil-A be having me the chokehold. Yeah, that number one with that large diet lemonade, it be calling me. Oh, but I had to check myself. Like, girl, you know you're doing too much.
Yeah, there's repetitive indulgences that stopping and getting that extra nice coffee instead of that $1.50 coffee.
Death by 1,000 cuts.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's what happens to our money. It really does.
Leaks you. And with you saying that, I know you do have a degree in social work.
Yes.
Where did you start this path of focusing in on the economics, and where did you get your education on the economic side of care of personal self?
I think a part of my journey is to broaden the idea of what social work is. So a lot of people think of, your DSS worker.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's social work. And it can be. But I think the beauty about the social work field is that it's such a broad field. Like we do policy and advocacy. Mm-hmm. You can do lobbying. Of course, you can do foster care adoptions, but social work teaches you just about looking at systems and how to benefit from the system that you're operating in. That's all that social work is. As far as me getting my economic background, I read a lot.
Self-taught.
Like I rarely watch TV. Like I read a lot. I research a lot. And it's a lot of trial and error. My finances aren't always where they were. Like I was robbing Peter to pay Paul, not that long ago, if I can be honest. And so I had to learn, like, is this really how I want to live? All my friends going on vacations. I want to have a home. I want to have an asset, something I can pass down to the next generation if something would have happened to me. So what do I need to do to change my reality right now? And that was looking at my finances.
Oh, that's dope. And of course, I always like to tell folks this about our podcast. It's about millennials learning how to adult.
Yeah.
And so this is an adulting episode. Definitely.
And we can't necessarily just ask the other generation. Like they got stuff to say, but it's a different system that they came up in. Like,
speak on that, Mike.
Like, just the idea that we don't balance our checkbooks. Yeah. Like I learned that when I was like a kid, because we had I had a checkbook when I first started getting work because I had to pay car payments and shit. That was the only way you had to do it. Yeah. Right, because you couldn't do it online yet. But very quickly, once it switched to being on a debit card, then it was like, well, how quick is the bank app going to show up? And I went to Bank of America because they were the first people that you could buy something and it would show up right away. Yeah. But that still doesn't protect you from stuff that just goes awry. People overcharging you, double charging. And if you don't have a record of that, you can't tell. And then you start running a business off of it. And it's one thing if it's my Starbucks on there, I don't go to Starbucks, but it's my whatever, but it's not, that's small.
Yeah, small.
Then you start having, regular business payments that are going out on a regular basis. And then you need to know what that cash flow looks like. Right. You got to do it for yourself before you can do it for some other entity.
Right.
Very true.
Yeah, talk about that transitioning to, I know you work you're the owner of Tanny's Broughton's all-purpose seasoning. So talk about transitioning from personal to business finances. Like, how should that be in order?
Yes. So these social media gurus, they stress me out so bad because the information is just wrong. Like I have people who will send an inquiry and they want to talk about purchasing a home in their business name. And I'm like, do you have the revenue that supports a purchase that large for your business? No, then stop listening to these people who give you these make-believe scenarios. So
you're going to save 3% on some taxes somewhere, but then when your business goes up, you lose your house.
You lose your house.
No, bad idea.
You got a $10,000 a year business. You cannot afford to purchase a home. Stay where you are. Stay in your lane and work your way up. Business credit, personal credit, they often go hand in hand, especially for someone who's just starting off with a business. When you open up your business checking, they're going to look at your personal checking because if you cannot manage your personal finances, nobody's going to give you business money. They're just not going to do that. Because if you can't take care of yourself first, you're not going to be able to take care of this business. And people really have to sit down and understand that.
That all goes back to your credit, right?
All goes back to your credit.
What you think about Credit Karma and apps like that to just kind of keep an eye on you?
Credit Karma is not that accurate. I feel like it's a good baseline, but you really need your Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax.
Yeah.
And I forget the name of the website, but you can pull it annually for free. And that's a good
once a year. Without taking any point.
Yes. I can't remember the name of the website, but if I find it, I'll send that to you all. but you can check it once per year. And I do encourage people to do that. There's things such as self-lender, which is like a savings program, but you have a certificate of deposit that you're saving money towards, but it's also reporting to the credit bureaus. Like there's a lot of different tricks that you can do to help build your credit up in a healthy way.
And like you said with the credit card, just using it for regular bills that you already budget.
That you're already paying.
Right.
But you
That
should
is
have a
already going out.
business credit card, right?
Yes.
Should you have a business credit card? It depends on your revenue.
Okay.
So I don't feel like every business needs business credit. Some of them have a revenue source where they don't need that extra line of credit to depend on.
Right.
Oh,
it just depends on your business model and your revenue source.
You know, I might not need to buy anything, but if I'm selling T-shirts or something, then I need to be able to buy 2,000 T-shirts
in advance of you actually receiving orders. But that's a different idea. The model and question and just think about business. Could you tell us about your all-purpose seasoning?
Yeah.
Because I know my wife would be interested in this all-purpose seasoning.
Yes. So it's me and my daddy. My daddy started when he was 70 years old. He'll be 73 this month on the 13th. So shout out to my daddy.
Yeah.
But my mom had like a lot of health problems: diabetes, hypertension, gout, renal failure. She had a kidney transplant. She had so many health diseases, and so all of those ailments came with their own set of dietary needs. So it's super hard to feed her. Like she really couldn't eat anything. And in my family, food is everything. Yeah. Like we still get together for Sunday dinners. Like food is so important to us. So she started like deteriorating because she wasn't able to eat. So my dad came up with this seasoning back in 2010. And
this portion of the podcast is brought to you by Lynx Recording Studio.
Lynx is a premier audio and video recording studio in the greater Charleston area with 4 completely different booths, multiple peripherals, and 4 producers. They have the ability to service all facets of audio and video creativity.
If you need to record a song, a podcast, create a demo, or even take headshots and complete drops for Hollywood film, they've done it.
Call them at 843-879-9386 or find them online at lynxrecordingstudios.com. That's Lynx, Lynx, recordingstudios.com.
No salt. And it's been a hit.
She's been making it since 2010?
2010. He started selling it in 2021 after my mom passed in 2018. Oh. But yeah, so he started making it for her back in 2010. And it helped keep her alive for about 8 extra years, I think. 8 more years. So,
because when you can't eat the way you want to eat, I know it's not true. Like it does something to your
hospital
spirit.
Food, yeah.
Yeah, it does something to your spirit.
Well, because see, that's part of it too, is that like, you know, there's the nutrient that we eating, right?
Yeah.
Right. But the whole reason that we put all these plants and stuff on there is that like there's medicinal value in these herbs and things. Right. And we kind of just intuitively know in the wintertime, you got to bring your energy up a little bit because it's cold and dreary, and you need a little bit of garlic. You need a little bit of capsaicin, a little spice. Did you bring my ginger?
Yeah, ginger.
Ginger
shots.
This artificial ginger that at the store. He said he got a garden, so I'm like, I need some real ginger.
So my mom was just growing white ginger in her yard, like because it gets these pretty flowers on it, and she changed up her garden a few years back, and she just had like buckets of ginger, and I'm like, you know, this stuff's like $9 a pound at the grocery store. So I just went and planted it all in the yard, and it just comes back every year.
Y'all got chickens?
No.
I was about to ask for some eggs.
It's gonna happen at some point. But I'm like in the city.
Yeah,
so I need to have proper fencery before I can.
They do what they know. They do the. They got the chicken ladies.
You can do it. Yeah, you're allowed to.
Yeah,
I think you can have. It's either 2 or 3. You're not supposed to have a rooster, but they make this crow collar that you can put around their neck that keeps the little Adam's apple from going up.
So it doesn't get loud.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I've never heard that before. Y'all are funny.
The Organic Growers Conference every year in February. I just missed it, but it's up in Asheville. It's a great time. Just go up there. It's a fairly cheap conference. I think it was like $150 or something for 2 days. And there's a third day. That's where I met the bee dude. Anyway. We'll talk about more of this here, but I'm all about the growing your own food and doing the nature thing and the herbs and the plants and the roots and the things.
And that's where the seasoning comes in.
Yeah,
because you got to be able to season your food.
So what flavors y'all have?
So we have 6 now. We have a regular, a spicy, a seafood, a dry rub, a spicy dry rub, and a tropical. What? We're also working on coffee.
What?
Yes. Because I know we drink coffee all the time.
So where the coffee come in?
So
her daddy love coffee.
We're huge coffee drinkers.
I was down here last weekend, and it was like 8:00 at night, and he came with a cup of coffee, and I was like, "Sir, this is going to keep me up."
And it did.
Yeah, like
he bought you a cup of coffee like in the evening, like old school that you come and you drink coffee. And
I didn't want to be rude, so I had to take a couple sips in front of him, like But yeah.
So I've been drinking coffee since I was 2. Yeah, like we're real deep with it.
So how are you?
We gotta get you some of Mo's coffee. We gotta get you some haiku coffee.
Oh, let's do it. Yes.
Yeah, we have to get with somebody some coffee.
That's a CC alumna. Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yo, so question. Yes. How are you sourcing your coffee, and are you going to be roasting your own coffee?
So we're exploring like different recipes now. We're in the very beginning stages.
This is cool.
My brother's in the military, so he brings back all different kinds of coffee beans and stuff for us sometimes. So we're trying like what flavor do we like the best right now. So it's pretty cool. We get to drink all this coffee. You know, I'm not complaining. But yeah, we're still in the early stages of that. Yeah.
So when you're talking about flavoring, it's like things that you would add as you're roasting it, like like vanilla beans and French vanilla or whatever.
Yes, there's different oils that you can add to get different flavors.
Yes, that's so interesting.
I did not know.
Yeah,
that.
Different sweeteners that can do different things.
Yeah.
Smart. And vanilla from each different places gives you a different kind of aroma. So yes, it's a really cool process.
Now, even better than this, I have to ask you this because this is what I was happy about seeing today was, all right, so they're working on a wellness and a self-care brand.
Yes.
For people experiencing personal and professional burnout.
Yes.
So you mean everything?
How you helping us out? How you helping us out?
It's for the mamas, the daddies, the churn, everybody. So I have been that type of person that constantly gives, and my cup ran so empty.
Yep.
I couldn't even pour it over and get a drop, y'all. So I had to like really step back and say, girl, you giving too much. Sit yourself down because you really about to like end up on the side of the street looking crazy. So I started using products to really like start meditating. And Tamaya, you really helped me with that, like yoga. I'm learning more about my body, listening to different frequencies, and it really helps. So I started doing candle making. I never had a hobby before, y'all. Like this was my first time ever having a hobby. And so I picked up candle making and I loved it. So I'm starting to create this whole self-care box where it's various items in there that men and women and children, because children need self-care too, can utilize to just take a step back. Because everybody can't afford a day off of work. Some people don't get PTO. So we can't always say, call out. Like, that's not always the answer because we still talking about financial literacy. Don't mess up the bag. But there are some things that you can do in your downtime to really try to refill yourself.
Skip 2 Netflix episodes and recharge.
Right.
Yeah, another thing is like people can't afford like massages or like, people always want to go out and spend that type of self-care.
Right.
What about the stuff that you can do inside your house, listening to music, frequencies, incense, lighting incense, meditating, lay down and stretch. Oh my gosh, it's not that hard. Like just lay down. Like I had to tell somebody, like, they're like, I can't silence my mind. I'm like, well, just turn the lights off. But that's to be the first step. Sometimes I stretch with just the lights off. Just lay down.
I like that steps.
Yeah.
There's certain steps you got to take. Everything's not.
Know yourself. Yeah. Know your mind.
Sit outside and look at the sky without a phone in your hand.
Oh, it'll clear.
But the world we're living is so difficult for people to unplug. It's so difficult.
Yeah.
Especially kids.
Because
they grow up with these devices,
babies attached to tablets and TVs.
Like how can a child get mad because they don't have a tablet? You were the one who broke it.
Right.
You broke it. This is your fault because you're angry and you're mad because you don't have it anymore.
Yeah.
And because it's not a need, I ain't replacing it. Nah.
I like that because that financial literacy, like you said, overpowers everything. She's like, that's not a need. You don't need it.
But see, as parents, though, like we are the gatekeepers of that.
That's the truth.
Talk about it.
Yeah.
There are parental controls on everything. And you can set them down. Man, he can be mad as hell, but that Xbox will cut him off if he's been playing too much.
Yep.
Your time's up.
Right.
Hell, it gave you a 5-minute warning. Well, you should say
it does give you a warning.
And that's a good
self-accountability. Accountability and time management. A lot of kids don't want to be accountable for their actions. And they're not held accountable by the parent because the parent doesn't want to hear all that.
Right. They want to take the easy way.
Think about the parents. I'll put it like this. This is a good thing because it goes back to what you're talking about with that financial literacy and generational wealth building is that you have parents, when you see the child, you saw the parent.
Right.
That child is a reflection of its parent.
Yes.
I dealt with one of those this week. The child lied, so the mama lied. And they kept it going. They did not break face with it. They kept that thing rolling. And it was for a serious situation. Like
a lot of times that's a survival situation, though. You gotta be able to pick up them cues and run with the story that's there. That's the thing.
Yeah, but we had to catch the lie because it almost led to some insurance fraud. But that's the thing. The child picking up cues from the mother. I'm gonna lie. I got you. I'm gonna back you up. So imagine when it comes to finances. That have to happen. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
It had to be learned
every day. That's what went on. Yep.
So some of this poor financial
in social work. Yeah. What is the craziest story?
Oh God.
You have come across in social work history?
I don't know if you're gonna ask
that. You don't have social workers.
That's trauma. She not married and put it away. Put it out. He doesn't work in that.
Trying to think of one without disclosing personal information.
That's the hardest part.
HIPAA.
Man, I guess it would just be parents who like get their kids to act like they have mental problems and there's nothing wrong with them. That just always threw me for a loop. For the check. Like, you want your child to act like they got problems just to get a check? Like, is it that serious? That check that big?
Yeah.
Come on now.
It's really not. It's really not.
Is it worth it? Is it worth these people come knocking on your door when they feel like it? Like, I guess that's probably the craziest thing to me.
Yeah.
But you know, people do things for a variety of reasons, because of survival, because of, I don't know, their past experiences, their own traumas. But I think it's important for us to step outside of ourselves and understand that we are the only people accountable for ourselves.
Right.
And as a parent, as even just a role model, you should want more and better for the children who are coming up behind you. So if you're not doing that for the kids who are watching you, you're really doing them a disservice. So, yeah.
Facts.
I got another question just about you and you seeking further in your education, rather, going for your doctorate.
Yes, please. Talk about that.
Yeah, could you just tell our audience a little know how you're balancing that, how and why you chose the program that you're in, and how you're going to use that in your career to
Great question. So back in 1969, my father was one of the first Black people who was recruited to play basketball for the University of Kentucky.
Shut the front door. Yo, we got to talk to your papa. Wait, that means I know him. I know who your daddy is then.
So he chose not to go for, his own small town mindset reasons. But I'm thankful because I wouldn't be here if he went. His whole life would be different. So I wanted to go to the University of Kentucky to bring this diploma home, degree home for him. That was super important to me because I feel like my dad sacrificed a lot for his family, his children. Like my father was a stay-at-home dad. Like what dads y'all know staying at home, raising their kids. So he did a lot, and I used to hear, the ridicule, the little teasing, but my daddy, he is a stand-up guy. He was not only a father to his four, but to so many other kids.
Wow.
Grown men still come back to this day about how my father used to come to football games or would come to the school to watch them in performances. Like they still come back and talk to him about that. Like they'll bring their kids to come and talk to him too. So they don't call him old school for nothing. But I feel like the doctorate, I don't know, it's just a personal goal. Like I'm not really doing this for any kind of professional dreams, but I told my parents that I was the first person to go to college, first person to get my master's. I'm going to be the first person to get my doctorate degree too, and that's what I'm going to do.
So you got to make sure it gets done.
I'm going to finish it. Yes. If I start something, I'm going to finish it. Yeah.
So when is your planned finish date for this degree?
I think it's May of 2025. Yeah, May 2025.
You should definitely have it back on. It's probably have to get it because I want to see how that experience is.
Y'all be hanging on by a thread, but I'll be here.
We'll get you some downtime first.
I'll be here.
That paper's at the end.
Yes.
It's a little tough.
So tell us about what current projects you have coming up for the nonprofit and for the business, or just for yourself.
Yes, so definitely trying to grow the nonprofit. A lot of people don't know about an IDA program, which is an individual development account. It's a savings program that's used for low-income families and individuals, rather. So a bank can offer this program. And it's a match savings. So if you save $9, they're going to match your savings with $9. So you have a total of $1,800 combined. But you can only use it for 3 things, which is to start a small business, complete a degree, or for home ownership.
Done. Is this one of those things you want to do anyway?
This is a program that's been in existence for a long time.
I've never heard of that in my life.
But a lot of people don't know about that.
No.
So we're trying to partner with banks to offer the financial literacy component for these programs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, see, this is interesting because way back in the day when I was in high school, you could get a nice, decent job as a telemarketer selling mortgages during this subprime lending boom, which later went into the subprime lending crisis. So yes, if you've seen that, I am partially responsible for that by being a telemarketer in that time. But one of the things, and that was like my first, like, I went from washing dishes and cooking fries to wearing a suit and working at a mortgage company. But I still had no damn skills.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Y'all think about it.
Y'all worked telemarketing before. You know what this is.
You know what it is. Come on. Make them calls.
But that was one of the things that popped up was they had a 401k matching program. And every dollar that you put in was matched. And it was like just free fucking money.
Right.
And that's something that like does not pop up a whole lot of the time.
It don't.
And when it does, you need to dump as much as you can in it.
Dump money.
Whatever their cap is, just throw it in there.
Just throw it in there.
Yeah. But it's like you said, it's a great tool, especially for folks who don't know that exists. I mean, has been operating for more than 30 years.
More than 30 years.
All right,
yes.
this is bad.
Yes.
Yeah, we should. Yeah, because
we gotta let people know about that.
Yeah, people just don't know.
That's something you get for like nephews and cousins when they turn 5-6 years old. You just
keep dumping.
Start dumping. And the same with the 529s, but you don't get anything back except the tax shelter.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Oh yeah, no, it's good.
It's protecting finances,
right?
So you can have it like we're talking about.
Do all of them.
Yeah, do all of them, and it trains you to have a different mindset about money, like letting the money stay where it's supposed to, and let it make its own money.
And every now and then you pull all the things out and you start adding up all the numbers. You go, oh shit, I ain't totally broke anymore. I can't touch any of it right now, but I ain't a total failure.
I'm gonna keep working. It gives you impetus to keep along with
progress.
your
right. Slow progress for a big impact. Absolutely.
And then what about the seasoning? What can we expect?
So I'm hoping to get the seasoning in a store. I know there's a Black-owned grocery store in Columbia. It's about to escape my name.
Yes.
Y'all know what I'm talking
some
about.
people.
Uncle Willie's.
Uncle Willie's. So I'm about to go talk to Uncle Willie's and see if he has a spot for us in his store.
There's the other Black-owned shop.
Where else you can hit up vegan spaces?
Yeah.
Hit up a lot of vegan spaces. And that just came to my mind. Being the creator.
There's no salt.
But there's no salt in it. So hit up a lot of vegan spots.
I will definitely do that.
They would like
What's the place in Arcade?
Where?
You know what I'm talking about? Do y'all know?
The Arcade Mall?
There's like a Black-owned shop that's like all Black-owned products. Somebody was telling me about this at one of our events.
In the warehouse.
No, Noma Warehouse.
Noma.
We did that's our sponsor. That's our sponsor.
Our sponsor.
Yeah. So you got to talk to them.
Shout out to Laylo. Noma.
All right, so I ain't been yet.
Yeah, shout them out.
But yes, there's this place.
Bops. I did
Yes.
the voiceover for them.
Yep.
Stands for Black-owned products.
I like that.
You should definitely.
Next time you come to Columbia,
Yes.
which will be for the business
networking event.
Yes.
At Optus, which is a Black-owned bank in Columbia, South Carolina. I don't know if y'all know about them, but definitely do some business. They do a lot of community work too, so shout them out as well. We'll be doing a business after-hours networking event where business owners can come together to fellowship, network, get some good food, good drinks, the works. Yeah,
and they have a couple of those actually. So I'll put it in the group chat so y'all guys can come attend.
Cool.
If you
Cool. Actually,
yes.
Man,
I try. I do what I can for the people.
You do, and you work hard. I like that. You serious and you about your business.
Always.
That should be your hashtag, your tagline, logo. Yeah.
I need to get a shirt made.
Yeah. I mean business.
What's that?
I mean business.
Right.
Business. But before we finish you off and get you on out of here and not hold you up for too long, because we'll keep talking to you. I know we're looking pretty okay on time. How do you, because we always ask about this, but for you especially, how are you balancing your work life.
You got a lot of things going on here.
Yeah.
How you doing this?
Listen.
Yeah. How you do this?
Baby, I'm reclaiming my time. If I don't feel like working, I don't go to work.
You say you reclaim your time.
Hey,
I
that's
just
that
don't.
post-COVID.
I just don't.
Yeah.
Like,
Are you able to work from home?
I am. I have 2 days, and I take my 2 days sometimes.
Y'all are so blessed. These people work from home.
Yes.
Y'all are so blessed.
But I also have a schedule.
Okay.
Like I have to schedule stuff in order to stay within my time management system.
Yeah.
So I schedule time to be with my niece and nephew, schedule time to read. Like I have to schedule time so I don't miss anything because I'm doing so much.
And so you don't take the time from yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
But Sundays, that's my day.
Sunday's your day.
That's my day. I might go get my nails done. I might turn my phone off. And when my body feel like getting up, I get up. I might have me 2, 3, 4, 5 mimosas on Sunday.
I like when you say when my body feels like getting up, I might get up.
Yeah, she gonna let me know every time. Yeah, she gonna let me know. So yeah, though I take care of myself on Sundays. That's my day of the week for me.
So don't call you tomorrow.
I don't want to be nobody to nothing on Sunday.
I mean, having a set self-care day is a really good, it's like, yeah, you got to do that.
Got to.
Yeah.
Self-care is not selfish, guys.
It's not.
It's necessary.
For the revolution.
Yeah.
Hell, it's in the Bible. That's the whole point of the Sabbath.
Yeah.
That's a good day.
Bring it
We
home.
live in the South.
Okay, bring it home.
They don't do it.
So
they don't do it.
There was a situation where people worked 7 days a week, and then they were supposed to. And then the first thing they did when they left was like, you know what? There's one day we ain't doing shit. I don't want you to put shoes on. Don't tie your damn shoes.
Yeah, you weren't supposed to tie shoes.
I mean, things did change over time. It got a little more extreme later on. But yeah, the point was one day that you don't do shit except let your mind rest.
Yep.
Go think about God. Yep. Eat with your family.
Yep.
Lighter meal.
Lighter meal.
Don't make yourself all heavy.
Pre-prepared lighter meal.
I like the itis.
I think that keeps us grounded.
It's this other thing. We don't do all the things in the Bible. Shrimp is good.
The people who actually go by that. You see what I'm saying? Live by that. I think it keeps you grounded instead of this fast-paced world that we live in.
Yeah, because we are amped up right
now.
Everybody's
super
litty.
amped up.
Overdrive.
Everybody's not capping. We out here at extra 1s and 2s. I know it all 100 all day, every day.
Yes.
Amped up on diesel fuel. I take 2 shots of espresso in the morning just so you can get. No, I'm teasing. I don't do that no more. See, look at she said. Woo. Actually, I was worse than that. I was doing 6 shots of espresso in the morning.
Oh wow!
You don't do that no more.
Dang.
Caffeine's a hard one, man.
It's a hard one.
Is.
Yeah, so
but then it makes your sleep not work later on.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. So that's why
instant gratification.
Yep.
Oh, go ahead. So I was going to just wrap it up and let everybody know where they can purchase and find you and social media, website. Don't give out your number.
Don't give out your number.
I don't like people calling me, but Kinfolk Coaching has a website, which is kinfolkcoaching.org. Tanny Broughton's has a website, which is tannybroughtons.com. And Tanny, for those, if I'm not enunciating, is TANNY, tannybroughtons.com. We're on social media. Yeah, that's how you can find me. Don't hit me up on my personal page because I'm not gonna respond because that's my personal page and I don't know you like that. But yeah,
they can order offline.
They can order offline, online. We're gonna get your order to you now. But yeah,
definitely don't.
Just don't hit me up on Sunday. Thank you. Don't do it.
But we definitely appreciate you coming in today. I'm glad you got to meet my
having
team.
Me. Y'all are awesome. Thank you.
So we'll be doing more business with you in the future, whether it be financial literacy or helping you promote.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Because we'll buy it and push it.
There might be some tie-ins that we can do with our C.R.E.A.M folks on some things with that too. Because financial literacy in the artist community is a big deal.
Our friend in Monroe, North Carolina.
Gastonia.
Gastonia, my fault.
So I'll stay in contact with you. Yeah.
Don't talk trash about Gastonia. I know better now.
Well, thank you guys for listening to us today, and we're going to close it out. Make sure you tell someone you love them.
Yes.
You appreciate them.
Yes.
Relax on Sunday.
Yes.
And we'll see you guys next time. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's it for today's episode of the Hilltop Glove Podcast. Make sure to subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and other platforms. Also follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Hilltop Glove.